Hey guys, guess who's back? It is Coach Destiny, and I am debuting per se our first Talk to Me Tuesdays. If you follow me on social media, you know that every Tuesday I pick a random question or I ask general things just to get us talking, get a conversation going. Because I do believe in the importance of just still having a real conversation and people being able to express themselves and how they feel about certain things. So that's basically what Talk to Me Tuesdays is about. I decided to up it once and do a live version of Talk to Me Tuesdays. Right now, it's going to be every Tuesday at 8 p.m. I may change the time, maybe to 7. It depends. I did 8 because of my work schedule. So, we will see. So, today's topics, rather, are around religion and faith and a little bit of politics. The reason being because if you know anything, you know that Sunday is Resurrection Sunday or Easter, as it's popularly known throughout the United States. The reason why I kind of pick religion is because I know now with the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of churches are closed. They're doing online services or like drive-through services, teleservices. However, some churches are still open in different states. They're actually still having physical service, trying to observe the 10 people minimum, maximum rule, or however that may go. But people are actually having services. So with that came into mind, I'm like, okay, is it right? Is it wrong? Should they, even though we have a pandemic going on, should that really deter people from going to the house of the Lord and give praise and give thanks and having a traditional service? Is that, what's the word? Is it, right on top of my tongue, is it wrong? Not wrong per se to go, but is it like lacking decorum? Considering today's climate, are you just basically being disobedient? Or is it a true testament to your faith that you're saying that regardless of what's going on in the world, I'm going to go to the house of the Lord. I'm going to still give thanks. I'm going to still praise in the physical instead of doing teleservices or online virtual services. That was a question that I posed to myself because me personally, even before COVID-19 pandemic, I'm not a churchgoer. And I asked that question before, like, do you go to church? If you go to church, why? Why not? I'm not technically a churchgoer. I do attend services throughout the year. I do not go to church every Sunday. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I do go to church every Sunday because I don't. However, I do believe that I do have a healthy relationship with the Lord, and I tithe and I pray and I'm in constant communion with the Lord. So I'm not saying that makes me exempt from going to church. It's just that certain things that the church atmosphere brings that may boost or enhance your experience with the Lord. For me, it doesn't do that. So I just don't go every single Sunday because it's just not something that I technically believe. With me saying that, it, I guess, blossomed into a different conversation as to people asking me, well, you don't go to church. How can you call yourself Christian? I don't. I've never said I was a Christian or a Baptist or atheist or Muslim. I've never claimed any religious sect. And mainly because I just don't feel like I need to. I have a relationship with God. I believe in God. I follow the Bible. I've read the Quran. As much as I am a believer in the Lord, I've read other religions. It's just a part of who I am. I'm a student. So I study, and within my studies, I just realized that God is the creator. God is who I believe in. That's where my faith lies. So that's what I follow. When it comes to things like church or going to church or listening to a pastor, I believe in the fact that they're reading what I'm reading. It may be a different version, but the Bible is the Bible. You're reading what I'm reading. So what you're giving me is your interpretation of what that means. And for me to believe that, God had a conversation with you. I'm not going to say somehow because that was rude. God had a conversation with you and he told you to bring this message to the masses. I honestly believe that. But in that same breath, I believe because of my relationship with God, he also has conversations with me. So even though you're telling me what, your interpretation of what he said this meant, and I'm going to still take from it what I believe it means. It's always conflicting to me because I always find myself in the middle of a church service kind of second guessing or questioning what I heard. Like, I didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel that way. So that's why I really don't go to church every single Sunday, but I do go to church. I do believe in the worship experience. I believe that brings people together. And it just makes you whole. Sometimes you just need that extra boost because you just can be having a bad day or you feel down or you had a rough week. And, I normally go and commune with God and I say, what's needed? What am I doing wrong? And sometimes he leads me to a church. And it could be online. It could be a physical church house. And I follow that lead. And normally when I follow that lead, the message for that day is what I need to feed my spirit, to make me better. And that's what I do. I don't just go to church to go to church. I don't believe in church politics. So that's another reason why church puts a bad taste in my mouth, because sometimes I feel like people are more so there for the politics of it or to be seen. Church is like a club, or it's clicked up like a school. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe that's the real reason for a church. You go there to worship. You go there to be closer to God. You don't go there to be seen. You don't go there for the politics. You don't go there for popularity or to be a part of this committee or that committee to make yourself seen as more, or like, you have bumped the line to heaven because you're doing so much in the church. Because I feel like if your heart isn't there, what really is the purpose? So that's my little spiel as far as the question that I asked about, do you go to church? I had a reverie of different responses. People said, no, I don't go to church because church is all about money. I've heard that before. Me personally, I feel like I'm a walking blessing as far as my finances go in other areas of my life. Because the more I sow into giving my tithes, or the more I sow into just being a better person and following God's call on my life, I see the increase in my finances. I see the decrease of my debt. So I do believe in paying it forward and making sure that you're giving your tithes. I also have a problem with people or ministries that's just what they harp on making sure that you put money in the plate. And sometimes you don't have the money. And I don't necessarily believe, when I read the Bible, when he asks for your tithes, that it means monetary. You give what you got and you give it from the heart. And sometimes you don't have financial means to give the money. But you can give your time. You can, go feed the homeless. You can give 2 hours to a kid reading books or whatever. You can do other things to give your time or your tithes to God. I don't feel like it always has to be fiscal. And so I agree. Sometimes that kind of turns people off from church. Someone said church folks. And I didn't even have to ask to elaborate because I understand 110% what that means when people say, I don't go to church because of church folks. And this is normally like you have people in the church that makes newcomers, so to say, or they make you just feel uncomfortable or unwanted. They say things like, oh, you can't, it's been a long time since I've seen you, or they may bring something of your past. Anything is possible. However, I understand how people feel when they say that, church folks turn them off. I'm not traditional, so I'm not a traditional thinker. I don't follow crowds, so that kind of is a pivotal point for me too, because I'm always told, oh, you should do this or you should do it that way, and I'm always like, nah. If I'm following what God told me to do, you should allow me free reign. So I don't believe in the church politics or the church people who kind of, you act holier than thou while you're in church, but I really know you. So the situation, like, I know who you are outside of Sunday, so I know you Monday through Saturday. And it's a put off, it's a turn off when you see those people, because it's like, you were just, shouting up the floor and worshiping and, basically judging me for all my bad decisions, but yet here you are doing the same thing. You're no better than me. And I think that judgment that kind of lies sometimes with certain people in the church, it off-puts people. I don't want to go to a church where I feel like everybody's looking at me and judging me or whispering. Nobody wants that. I mean, that's just like going to high school or certain particular employers. It's just certain things that turn people off. And I think that concept is what turn people off. Also, I saw outdated, like church that I want to be, they don't want to grow with the times. And I think that's very prevalent. I think it's a mixture. You can keep tradition and you can also update tradition by the use of technology and, different genres of gospel music, because gospel music is growing. You got gospel rap, gospel country, all of that. I believe if you incorporate that, you do open your doors to a larger crowd of people, because we are stimulation-based people, which means if we're not stimulated, we get bored. When you get bored, you kind of trail off to, oh, let me play on my phone, let me look at Facebook, let me scroll Instagram, let me do a TikTok video while I'm in church, because you're no longer stimulated by the message about what's going on, so you miss it because the stimulation isn't there. So I believe, it could be a healthy balance to kind of balance traditional views with a new age perspective, if that makes sense to you guys. So what else I have? I'm just reading like some questions and things that I got from DMs, emails, and from Facebook and my personal email. So if you know how it goes, certain people don't like to comment, and I'm cool with that. I can talk forever. So if you don't comment, I can just keep talking. But people do send me emails sporadically throughout the week. Messages, I'm always available. As far as if you send me a message, I will respond back to you. I will not charge you a coaching session fee to respond to a question. If you just want some advice, I'll be more than happy to give it to you. My email address is thecoachdestiny@gmail.com. And you can find me on Facebook at thecoachdestiny, as well as Instagram on thecoachdestiny. If you send me a message and say, hey, I'm going through this, can you give me some insight? I'll do the best that I can without knowing who you are, so it'll be general insight. And if you wanted to take it a step further, again, I am a licensed life coach, so that's a little plug. So the next thing that someone asked me, and this was actually asked last week, which I think kind of pushed me to the religion faith aspect of it. The question was, I'm starting to lose my faith because it feels like the more that I pray for certain things, it goes left. And I asked for an example. They was like, well, I pray for increase in finances, and now I feel like I'm in more debt, or I can't get from under my bills. And I was like,